tan jacket. He then staggered across to the town hall and climbed through an open window. Before rummaging through a number of rooms, he took a camera and a mobile phone, which he tried to use to call his friends. It was at this point that he soiled himself. He threw his stained underwear into a black bin bag. Things went from bad to worse when he found a Grim Reaper costume and decided to wear it. He then left the town hall and eventually staggered to the police station. As it was unmanned, he stood waiting for 3 hours dressed as the Reaper until officers arrived. As the tale was told in Lancaster Magistrates Court, tricky words, these English. On probation, one probation officer had to leave the room in a fit of laughter. Kelly was given a 6-month conditional discharge after he admitted to burglary. Well, that's one way to spice up your night, huh? Yeah. Any old time, dress up as the Grim Reaper. Try it. It's quite fun. I do it on Wednesdays. Modesto, California. Police say a man tried to cut off his own arm at a restaurant in Modesto because he thought he had injected air into a vein while shooting cocaine, and he feared he would die unless he took drastic action. Authorities say 33-year-old Michael Lassiter rushed into the Denny's restaurant and started stabbing himself in one arm with a butter knife he had grabbed from a table. They say that when the knife didn't work, he took a butcher knife from the kitchen and dug it into his arm. The police sergeant says that Lassiter told officers he thought he needed to amputate his arm to keep him from dying from the cocaine injection. Lassiter was taken to the hospital for treatment of severe cuts, and the Denny's was closed for the night. Well, where are people going to be able to get their Denny's breakfast at 3 in the morning when it's closed? Did you think of that, Mr. Lassiter? Did you ever think of that? No early bird special. Punk. Cincinnati. David Stephan was convicted in 1983 of murdering a 19-year-old woman and sentenced to death because the jury found that he also raped her. That's fun. A violation that was an added devastation to her parents. Stephan confessed to killing, but protested for almost a quarter century that he did not rape her. And finally, in 2007, a DNA test of the semen backed him up, disturbing the family even more and calling Stephan's death sentence into question. In 2008, the prosecutor learned that the DNA belonged to 55-year-old Kenneth Douglas, who is not a suspect in the murder, but who was a morgue assistant in 1982. Oh yeah, when the woman's body arrived, said the prosecutor, he had sex with it. Through the statute of limitations, likely prevents prosecuting Douglas, the woman's parents seemed somewhat comforted that, after all, their daughter died a virgin. Well, that's kind of odd, don't you think? I don't really find that too comforting. Well, I guess if you're among all those stiffs. Houston, Georgia. Yes, indeed. The small northeastern Georgia town population boom is, well, scary. In a bid to break a world records, residents are building hundreds of scarecrows. Yes, traditionally human figures stuffed with straw and dressed in old clothes to keep farm fields clear of crows and other wildlife. Well, different there in Georgia. Yes, indeed. There's a mannequin dressed as a scuba diver, the Georgia Bullfrogs football team, and, of course, the cast of Wizard of Oz. Even likenesses of Jesus and Elvis pop up. Hot dog. Awesome. The 1,700 real residents of the Georgian town hope to nearly triple their population with 4,000 scarecrows and break the Guinness World Record for most scarecrows in one location. The title belongs to the Cincinnati Horticultural Society, which set the record in 2003 with 3,311 scarecrows. Yeah, Antique dealer Robbie Bettis and her husband, Fred, are leading the efforts for the town's fall festival. They watch over an assembly line at an old downtown train depot where about 20 people passed wooden frames among tables of dingy clothes, yellow milk jugs, plastic grocery bags, old hats, twine, ribbon, and other donated materials. Crows and criminals beware. 2 men caught knocking over scarecrows were sentenced to build 25 of them, lest they face trespassing charges. Well, at least they're keeping the scarecrows safe, keeping the streets clean and neat, and giving something for the YMCA to do. Absolutely. I'm rooting for them. Go Georgia! Yeehaw! Okay, well that brings us to the end of our stories, but I do have a couple movies to talk about. I'm rather excited about an unauthorized biography of Roman Polanski, and has just come out. And playing the role of Susan Atkins, of course you know Susan Atkins, became a member of the Manson family, you know, knew Anton LaVey, was in one of his plays, The Vampire, you know, all around wholesome activity. And she will be played with by Kathleen Gregory, which, however, is going to be in another movie that I'm very much looking forward to called Das Puppets. This is going to start shooting in October, and it's going to be a fluxus, surreal, silent, artsy film about an artist named the Kommissar Hüller and Mama Bar. They're a German artist, and you should check them out. Just type it in on YouTube or, you know, any search engine, Kommissar Hüller. I'm sure we're going to put it right down there somewhere so you can see it. Very interesting, cool, dull, weird thing. So I'm looking forward to that. So check out Polanski. That is out now on DVD, and shooting soon is Das Puppets. So check those out. And those 2 tales, yeah. Yep, that's the end of the news. So we'll get ready here for a very special undead performance from Versailles. I'm very excited. I can't wait. Yes, indeed. So, until then, let's get to some music, shall we? Absolutely. Well, you've sat through all my nonsense for this moment. Yes, indeed. I'm all excited. I've gone all ghoul flesh. Let's go ahead and officially start this autumn season with a nice, chilling performance from